Today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a sales call from one of my students going through a closing discovery, okay? So this is Ola, and Ola is currently in a appointment setting role in which he is setting up appointments. He's getting paid a few thousand, he's currently living out in Spain, living a decent life, right? Ola obviously is ambitious, and now he wants to go up to that next level and become a top 1% closer. So now we are looking at how we can build his skill set and refine the actual closing process to get him confident enough to go into that next transition, okay? So I'm going to be breaking down in this video the things Ola has done well and what you want to be looking for in a closing discovery, and the things Ola needs to improve on and what you shouldn't be doing in a closing discovery, okay? So with that being said, let's get straight into the video breakdown.
Hey, Doc, how are you doing, man?
Not too bad. How are you?
All good, all good. Where are you calling from today, man?
Cavan.
Cavan?
How about yourself?
Nice. I'm actually calling from Santiago in Spain. So, yeah, I guess the main reason that, you're on this call, I did just want to...
Okay, Ola did something well there. Came in, not too hard, not too heavy, not too salesy. You still want to drop a little bit of resistance. They might not know you, they might not know why they're on the call. So just a little quick intro, built a little bit of rapport, and then he's going to roll into frame now, so good.
Get a little bit of an idea, an understanding, where you're currently at with your journey in the Gulf Tech space. Oh shit, I didn't say an offer, sorry.
That's sorry. Just pretend that you did. Just pretend, sorry.
Yeah, no, we can do ASD also, too, but probably easy. Alright, so yeah, I just want to get a bit of an understanding.
I'll give it to Ola. This is a role play, it's not an actual call. So I'll give him a bit of grace there, but you don't ever want to forget your offer in the role play or an actual closing call.
Understanding where you're at, in your sales journey, and then kind of see where you're looking to go. And if everything makes sense, I'll be able to explain the next steps for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good. So I guess I know you're speaking to one of our assistants previously. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess what do you make you wanna book the call today, Jack?
Okay, good. Strong intro. And now Ola's about to go into problem. Problem solve situation. So, okay, strong intro. Now Ola's about to roll, he's done connection, right? And now he's about to roll straight into situation, which is what situation is the prospect in that's got him looking to book the call in the first place, all right? There's a few ways you can go from here.
I suppose a better quality of life would be fantastic for myself. To be able to set my family financially free as well, have my own freedom, and work on my own desire, on my own time as well.
I got you. And you mentioned better quality of life there. What does that actually mean? What does that look like?
Right.
Okay, prospect gave a very broad answer. We want to probe, which is good. I would have liked to hear just one question and a bit more concise and clarity with it. And personally as well, when I'm on a closing call, I like eye contact. So maintain eye contact with the prospect, let it actually feel like a conversation. Ola's probably taking notes right now, but I would still prefer just that frame of looking directly at the prospect and actually talking straight to them.
And now it's just I'm living in Cavan, it's just cold, wet, and it's just that every 7 days a week. Do you know what I mean? So it's just obviously every time I wake up, it's just straight into depressive mode because I'm not getting the essential sun that I like to have, So it just kind of sets off my mood for the day. And I think that if I was to move to Spain, then I'd be in that mindset. I wake up happy as Larry every single day, and then just to be able to work on my own my own time. I think that would be sweet.
Okay, I understand. And I guess for you, Jack, how long have you actually felt like that? That maybe, that you want to move to Spain and change your situation and, chase that better quality of life for yourself and your family?
Good question again. We're going down timeline now. We're starting to try and dig a little bit more emotional impact. I think tone is getting there. Demeanor could be a bit more concise, right? In a situation like that, I want to be a little more start up here and finish down here. So how long has that actually been for you that you've wanted to create a situation for yourself and your family? Drop it down like that, body language drops a little bit, and once again, maintaining eye contact.
I'd say the last 6 months.
6 months. Okay, and I guess for you, over that 6 months, why now? What's actually kind of changed for you that you're wanting to jump on this call today and actually make that change?
Just tired of my own job. You know, I don't really have that much time to spend with my family or kids. And it's just like I feel like the job that I'm currently in is just taking that away from me. You know, so it's kind of hit me rock bottom the last while. So I just thought, like, you know, this is the time to take action.
Okay, I got you. Like, I guess, what do you currently do for work at the moment?
Oh, hola. We missed a big chunk there. There, right? The prospect just gave a lot of pain, like a big portion of pain, right? And we need to explore that. Maybe he looked at it a little bit after, so I won't go too hard. But if someone's just told you my job does not allow me to see my kids and I've hit rock bottom, that is a world of pain. We have to go into that. There's so many different ways, right? But we have to go into that, right? Very simple one is just mirror them. Rock bottom, silent. Let them fill the gap, okay? Or just like literally probe them before you even go into the job, because like when you go into the job, you're going on a different tangent. The conversation is like here, you're going like here, right? If someone's mentioning rock bottom, that's quite charged. What we want to do is allow them to like expand on that, because that's gonna be where their why is, right? So let's see how Ola handled this.
I work in a factory.
You work at a factory?
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
The last year and a half.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
So 18 kind of months, is that right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Okay, so I guess over the last kind of 18 months, you said you've been feeling, have you kind of felt that way about it, you know, that you don't like it from the very start, from the day you started the job, or is it something a little bit more recent for you?
I mean, I'd say in the first year that I was there, I wasn't really thinking about, you know, all that sort of stuff. But like the longer that I obviously was in the job, then obviously all these question things are coming into my head as well. On like, you know, what can I do to have a better life? You know, obviously it took longer than I expected, but you know, here I am.
Okay, I understand, and like, so I guess over the last, you know, kind of 6 months that you said, did you say over the last 6 months you've known about the sales space, or you've kind of?
Yeah, the last 6 months
That's a bit of a loss of fame there, bit of a loss of authority. If I was a prospect, I would kind of assume maybe I'm not being listened to. That's why, as a closer, always have your notepad, write your notes, because you don't want to have them to repeat themselves. Did you say? Because then it's like, okay, he wasn't listening to me. Whereas if it flips and it's like, you said, it's now their words. You can say with certainty because you were listening and you know exactly what they said. You can just roll into your next question with that.
I've known about remote sales, but only in the last like 10 months I've seen AST.
Okay. And like, I guess over the last kind of 6 months that you said you've known, and you have been feeling that type of way of your job, like, what have you actually kind of done in the past, I guess, to, you know, kind of get yourself out of, you know, change the situation?
Okay, cool. So now we're in overcoming limitations. Really strong part of a closing discovery, right? Overcoming limitations is probably the most important part, because what you want to do and what you're trying to do is figure out what have they done before in the past to be able to get out of their current situation, what are their beliefs around it, and what has kept them stuck, okay? The reason that they potentially will not buy for you is the same reason in which they didn't buy in the past and in which they weren't successful in the past, right? So the better you are able to actually like look into that section, allow them to come to the conclusion that it was their fault, flush out whatever excuses, you've pre-handled that objection, so that at the end, if you commit them, they've already been tied to an identity. And then if they do give you an objection, you can just come back to your discovery, hold them accountable, and then just push forward. So let's see what Ola does here.
I've done drop shipping, but I didn't really have the proper guidance on how to do that. So it was kind of just a waste of money for me.
Mm-hmm. And when you say you didn't have the guidance, what do you actually mean by that?
I mean, the community I'm in wasn't really that helpful.
Okay, and with that community, was there like anybody making money, or anybody being successful in that, or?
This is good. So now Ola's slowly coming down the decision-making tree and he's flushing out excuses, right? And what he wants to get him to admit basically is that like dropshipping works, the program itself works, you were the reason it didn't work. But you don't want to say it because then you're telling someone. You want them to admit it to themselves. So right now Ola's asking good probing questions to get further down that tree to allow Jack to admit it himself, which is good.
I'd say 3 out of 10 people, like on a ratio wise, like almost,
Okay.
you know, wasn't always every single person was making something.
Mm.
I just feel like it was lack of guidance from obviously the ones that set up the whole community. You know, they weren't putting too much work into it.
Okay, so you were kind of trying that job shipping. It didn't really work out for you, but I guess with those 3 people that were making, that they were doing well for themselves, like, what was the difference between what they were doing and what you were doing?
Nice. Good isolation.
I don't know, maybe they just knew about drop shipping, before even doing the course, or I don't know, a lot of things.
I mean, if you don't know, I don't know, man. But I guess for you, because I guess going forward, the main thing is we want to start holding ourselves accountable. So that's why I want to take a look at what you kind of previously done, and you said that in the previous drop shipping course that you were with, that 3 people were making money. So is it fair to say that with you guys being provided the same resources, having the same opportunity, that they were doing something different to you?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that, yeah.
Okay. And I mean, when you look back, do you actually feel like you were 100% committed on that dropshipping journey?
Yeah, I mean, I was at the start, but then I just, I wasn't, I was in it for, this is about a year ago. So I was in it, I was doing the grind for my phone.
Good loop by Ola there as well. The prospect didn't really take accountability. He kind of excused it, so he kind of looped it back on him, right? Which is good. We like a loop. We like if someone doesn't give you, if someone doesn't answer your question, do not move on, because subconsciously you're showcasing to them that they don't have to respect your authority. They can get away without actually being held accountable, which is what the last thing that we want to do. The last thing we want the prospect to feel like they can get away with, right? So really good loop here by Ola, bringing him back into frame, digging out the excuses, flushing them out, and making him take accountability. So love that.
Once. Both.
Okay.
That I can make,
And when you say as much that you were told, what's that in relation to?
6 grand.
6 grand?
Mm.
Okay, so you were kind of told that you'd be making 6 grand and you didn't end up making that.
Mm.
Okay, and I guess, with you not being able to make that goal, do you feel like that's something that, I don't know, maybe hindered your progress, or you felt that, lost a bit of motivation, or?
Yeah, I mean, after the 4 months, I kind of just lost all hope and faith into it, I just left the community.
And why is that? Is that due to you not being able to achieve the 6 grand, or?
I mean, I just felt like.
Right there, Ola kind of spoon-fed him the answer, right? I'd much prefer, he says, and why is that? Full stop. Silence is quite powerful, especially when you're doing sales calls or closing calls. You want to allow people to expand, right? So and why is that? It might not be because he lost 6 grand, but we've essentially planted that in his head, right? And if he is feeling a little bit of pressure, or if he's feeling like he's being held accountable, us spoon-feeding him the answer it's a very easy path for him to take out, right? And the problem with that is we might not get the true reason because we spoon-fed him the answer. So as a closer, the less you can speak and the more you can allow someone else to just self-expand, the better you'll be able to do, right? Because they actually get to bridge that gap and tell you from their own brain, from their own thought process, the actual problems, the actual concerns, the actual goals, the solutions, X, Y, Z. And then you are just the counselor helping them through it, okay?
It wasn't the kind of thing I was looking for,
So what makes you think that, potentially working with ASD is something that you are looking for?
That was good.
Because, I mean, sales is a skill set, that you can obviously develop, and obviously everyone can talk. It's just a factor of bettering your communication skills and knowing what to say, and obviously objection handling, and bringing a solution to someone that has a problem. I feel like I could do that, compared to as.
What I did really, really well there was a push-pull, right? So he made the prospect give a justification as to why he wants to do this. Now he's no longer selling. He's doing what's called anti-selling, right? In which, more times, it's a psychological thing. If you push someone away, they naturally want to pull in further, right? Because we all want what we can't have, okay? So After going through overcoming limitations and what didn't work in the past, Ola then asked him, okay, cool, like, why do you even want to get into AST? Right? Curious tone, genuine curiosity, and he allows the prospect to justify all the reasons to Ola and to himself as to why he would want to do it. Perfect.
Dropshipping is just a bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would argue that dropshipping is a skill that they're able to develop also. You know, so I guess what would be different this time if you're actually to get started with AST and, you know, say you come in and you're not able to actually reach your goal within the first month, within the first 2 months. Are you gonna take the same kind of route you did as a dropshipping route and, you know, maybe just trail off a little bit?
Nah. I feel like this will be a better position for me because I feel like
Okay. Good question by Ola. He's getting a double justification, a double buy-in, right? He asked the question, are you going to? I would change that because are you going to is subjective. It's a yes or no, right? I would change it to what's going to stop you because that's a further justification. It's a further buy-in, okay? And then the prospect was going to give him an answer, give him a little bit of pain. He has the right frame. You can see the pen in his hand. He's a bit curious. The face is scrunched up. Good demeanor. He jumped in, right? And I think he was asking, why wouldn't you? It's a good demeanor, but we want let the prospect finish because they might be giving you the exact reasons as to why they want to do it, which is them tying in further to the frame. Okay, don't jump in too early because you can kill that train of thought. All right.
I feel like I'm good at communication skills as it is, you know, and I was like figuring out solutions for problems, you know. So
Okay, but I guess if it didn't work out for you, you know, in the short term, like why wouldn't you, you know, kind of lose faith and like I guess what is different this time, Jack?
I'm making the same mistake twice.
Okay.
Obviously, then like if I was to invest big money into this community and obviously then not put in the effort, I don't think I would have a family anymore, you know. So this is something that I obviously need and I'm working for, you know.
Okay, I understand. And look, Jack, is it fair to say that, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes? So I guess, you know, with your current situation, do you actually feel like, you know, and of course we're able to walk you through, you know, actually getting started, the pricing, etc. But do you actually feel like you're in a position that you're able to commit the time necessary in order to actually achieve success in this AST space?
Yeah, I've got plenty of time on my hands right now, and I've obviously saved up for this moment as well. So I'd say like I am mentally and financially prepared to take this action. So yeah.
Ola did well there. He went into commitment, which is before you even ask the price, like closing happens all the way through the call, right? So it happens in your intro, it happens in your discovery, it happens in your pitch, okay? What Ola did there was he got the prospect to come to that realization that is he actually ready for that change? Because that's a big thing, right? Mentally, he's now framed him, he's primed him in that manner. The prospect then said, I'm ready physically, emotionally, financially, XYZ. You've now got them thinking in that mindset of, okay, I'm actually going to be changing, something new is going to be happening, right? Becomes a lot easier then towards the end when you do pitch the price and when you do actually ask for the sale that they're already mentally primed to be able to make that change, right?
And you say you have a lot of time in your hands, because I know you mentioned that you're obviously full time in the factory. Like, how many hours a week, or like, would you actually say that you would have to commit to something like this?
To this course.
Yeah, to working with the listing.
How many hours I could obviously put in? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I'd say I could do about 10 hours.
10 hours?
Yeah, 10, 12 hours a week.
Okay. And Jack, I guess for you, say, you know, in the next 12 months time, we were able to actually get you started and then get you, you know, learning the courses, applying for roles, all these other things. What does success actually look like for Jack in 6 months' time?
Okay, cool. So we'll break down what just happened there, right? Ola's now gone into future pacing. Okay? What future pacing is obviously the prospect is here, right? They want to get to here, which is the top of the mountain. You have to show them why and how your solution is going to be the bridge to get them there, okay? So what Ola has done is he's thrown in some quantitative questions in the next 6 months, 12 months. You're now getting them future thinking, long term, okay? what would it look like for Jack? It's personified, right? It's him now personally. What would success look like, okay? So that's good in the sense of he's taking him through the process well, okay? What I would like there is just a bit more control on the actual questioning and a bit more tightness in the delivery, right? So kind of took him a while to get that question out. And when you are future pacing, you want to evoke emotion. Like, genuinely, people have to be able to realize what success does look like. So the whole demeanor, you're leaned forward, you're smiling, you're happy, you're curious, your body language, that's what I would prefer to see in a closing call. The question is good, really good. But just a bit more of like upbeat kind of curiosity, upbeat tonality will get a better response there. But good question otherwise.
Putting a smile on each and every one of my family's face. Like my wife, making sure she's living the life that she's always dreamed about. Providing for my kids efficiently. Being able to move out of Ireland as well is one of the major things. Just to have a better quality of life. Going places that I've always dreamed about as well. Buying my first dream car. So all those things align with the decision I'm making today.
Okay, and I guess you mentioned putting a smile on your family's face, Jeff. Like, why is that actually important to you?
It's important to me because I feel as if that's my responsibility and priority as number one, is to make sure that my family is taken care of the proper way.
Okay, and I guess with you on your current path in terms of working in that factory, do you actually feel like that's not attainable?
Do I think this part right now?
No, or yeah, with your current path, if you actually working in that factory doing that 9 to 5,
No.
do you not feel like it's attainable?
No.
Why not?
So all I did well there was he's instilling doubt, okay? So this gets rid of the whole, like, I want to think about it, I want to try by myself kind of objections, okay? So instead of, like, waiting till the end and hoping that someone doesn't say that, what you want to do is you want to preface it, right? So you want to pull it out in discovery. So all I'm asking him here right now, why not? And he's letting him once again justify all the reasons as to why he can't stay in his current situation and why he actually needs to make a change. So rather than Ola telling him that he needs to make a change, he's simply just asking the question in a way that the prospect is able to fill that gap and tell himself and Ola as to why he needs to make a change. And then all we have to do is actually hold them accountable and help them get to their desired outcome. Does that make sense? Cut that out.
Okay.
So we're working for peanuts every single week. Sure, I only earn about £2,500 per month. So, after the expenses of like how on paying for rent and then food and stuff like that for the children, it's like how am I supposed to double and triple that with no obviously course or community?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. Like, I guess for you, going on in that kind of method that you are living, as you said, kind of earning in around $2,500 a month. Is that right?
Mm.
Is that somewhere you want to be in the next 12 months?
No, I don't want to be stuck here in the next 12 months now.
Okay, and because the way that I do see Jack is, there's Jack that's here on this call.
Okay, so right now we're in consequence, okay, in which Ola he's future paced and what it could look like. He's on consequence and what it would look like if we stay the same, right? There's a few ways you can go down consequence, okay? Right now, Ola is about to go into an identity tie in which he's going to tie down the identity of what he wants him to be, right? One of the highest laws, Tony Robinson, is we all have a desire to stay consistent with the way that we internally view ourselves, our identity, so to speak, okay? So that's what Ola's about to do. Before that, right, I would go a little bit deeper in the consequence, okay? So I would ask them, after that question then, I would ask them, okay, cool, like what would happen if that continued for the next 12 months, year, 2 years, 3 years? What then? Let them answer. I would be this and this and this. Then you can ask that question of, okay, and like, is that something you want to settle for? Now you've given them the option. They can decide, right? Logically, they're going to say no, okay? Why though? You could. A lot of people are willing to settle. So like for you, emphasis on that, for you, why do you not want to settle? He'll give the answer, and then I would roll into the identity shift that Ola's probably about to do, right? But I would let them come to that conclusion first, where they are, where they could be, what life will look like if they stay in that kind of like vicious cycle of self-sabotage, why they want to change, get a commitment, then identity shift. That's how Ola handles it.
Now, and there's Jack on the other side of the road. Jack on the other side of the road, he's, as you said, he's put the smile on his family's face, living in Spain, knowing that he's able to, provide and live that better quality of life that he wants to. I guess, what do you feel like is the main difference between Jack now and Jack 2.0 that's on the other side of the bridge, living the life that you want to live?
Good phrasing.
Trusting the process and taking that leap of faith.
And do you feel like you're in a position that you actually want to do that today?
Yeah, I mean, I fully believe it. Like, if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you in the first place, So that's the way I kind of see it.
Okay, I understand.
And to be honest, that's the goal from a prospect, right? The prospect is fully bought in there. He's telling you all the reasons why he needs to do it. He's telling you why he's on the cards. Telling you why he wants to make that change, right? What you've done there as a result of the consequence, you've gotten that commitment from them, right? You got them committed earlier in terms of like the time and the investment. Now you've gotten them committed to actually shifting their identity. Closing happens the whole way through, not just when you ask for the sale, okay? But it's one thing getting them there. It's another thing what you actually do with it when you get them there. So let's see what Ola does here.
Because look, the main thing is that we just want to make sure that you are actually ready to take that step into Jack 2.0. Is that something you're actually ready to do?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what the process and the steps are that we'll be able to take Jack from where you are now to Jack 2.0. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. And then, I just go for the pitch then. But Dominic, what did you think?
Always.
Okay, cool. So obviously that was just discovery, right? My main kind of takeaways is even after that, at the very end there, I would have liked to hear a value stack. And what I mean by value stack is before I roll into like the pitch or like anything like that, right? I'm going to like do like a tie off, okay? So I'm going to like summarize everything else. I'm going to summarize, okay, man, based off of like what you've told me today, it seems like where you're currently at is you want to be able to be a better father, you want to be able to make more money. You're not able to do that currently because of like your current job. It's been affecting you like this for this amount of time, right? The reason you haven't done anything is because of X, okay? The reason you now want to do something is because of Y. Because you know yourself and you already said that if you don't in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to be stuck in this position, right? You now know that you need to make that change now so you can actually improve yourself, X, Y, Z, right? I'm basically just going to repeat back everything they've already told me to them once again for two reasons. One, show that I was actually listening, show that I was taking notes. Two, allow them to internalize it once again, right? Because we let them say it the whole way through so they can actually come to the realization on their own. And then we tell them what they've just told us to relay it back, all right? That's the first thing. What I think Ola did well was he went through the processes, so he understands where he wants to go in a closing script. Did his connection, the introduction, built a little bbit of rapport, went into situation in which where is the prospect currently at on that ladder, went into problem, why is this a problem, how long has it been a problem, how has it been affecting you. Then we bridged into overcoming limitations, right? Ola flushed out his excuses with dropshipping, what are others making results in that program. So it's kind of just like breaking down that barrier to reshift that belief of I didn't succeed in the past because of X, Y, Z, okay? He shifted that belief. Then he got the prospect to take accountability that they were the reason in which it didn't succeed. They need to change X to make sure they can succeed in the future. Then he got him committed to actually wanting to make that change. Shift his identity, got 2 buy-ins, and then he's going to push forward with the pitch. Really good, right? That's 101 of how you want to structure like your closing sequence, okay? So really good there, Ola. What I think could have been done better is I would have liked to, there was a couple times you did it, but I would have liked to see more quantifiable anchors, okay? And what I mean by that is like throw in more metrics, throw in more years, months, throw in more days, weeks, stuff like that, especially when he mentions like his family and wanting to like be a better person for his family, be a better father for his family. Okay, cool. And like being a better father for your family, like what would that actually mean for you? I would be able to spend more time at home with my family, this and that. Okay, cool. How much money do you think you need to start making like a given month to be able to like get to that point? Now, It's no longer just I would like to. It's no longer just heebie-jeebie. We can actually start putting physical, concrete attachments to it. Okay. And what you do by that is you actually anchor it to something. You take an idea, you add emotion to it, you add belief, you now root it into the actionable steps, right? And it's a lot stronger than opposed to just a thought that just stays a thought, right? You take a thought, you add the emotion, you turn it into a belief, and that turns into action, okay? So I would have liked to see more of that. I think on the tonality, there was a few times in which you used tonality. I just think it could have been a bit more smoother, a bit sharper, and a bit more concise, okay? And what I mean by that is on the actual, like, the pacing, going through the phases, even when you're asking the questions, I would like to see more direct eye contact, more body language, stuff like this, more like scrunching your face, more like leaning back, more leaning forward, okay? Sales isn't just verbal. A lot of it is actually non-verbal. Majority of it is probably non-verbal, right? Because there's this thing called sales sub-communication, which is the way the prospect receives you, body language, X, Y, Z, okay? If I was filming this YouTube video and I decided to film the outside where I am in Bali, showing you the pool and the sunset and all that nice stuff, automatically there's a picture that formulates in your head, okay? But I'm just filming it in a bedroom, all you can see is the background, there's not really much to interpret, okay? Same with the prospect. Well, has a nice haircut on today, he has a Nigeria jersey, plain background. If he was wearing a suit, do you know what I mean? It's a complete different perception, okay? So it's the same with our body language. If you're like really enthusiastic when you're asking a question, it's really hard for me to give you like a really surface level answer because I'm like, this guy's so happy. Why is he happy? I have to be happy. Do you know what I mean? So things like that, the more you control those in, you just help the prospect help themselves, okay? So I think a little bit more control on the actual pacing, the frame that we bring into each questioning, and the tonality switches. So knowing when to like raise your tonality so it comes across like this, knowing when to like drop your tonality really serious when you're asking it like this. So little things like that I would like to see more, okay? Overall, I'm gonna rate that discovery like a 6.8 out of 10. I think it was pretty good. The prospect didn't give you a crazy amount of pushback. Got what you needed in terms of discovery. The prospect committed to an identity shift and they're bought into the frame. So realistically, a prospect like this, I would assume they're going to close if you follow through all your next steps. I also didn't see a financial qualifier, so I don't think we got a tangible amount of what the prospect could invest. They said they're open to investing, but we didn't get a tangible amount. We didn't see if there was any other decision makers, so we didn't dig into like, okay, cool, like follow the BANT framework, right? Budget, authority, need, timeline. We didn't get the actual budget. We didn't get the authority, so we didn't figure out if this is the sole decision maker, if there is a wife involved, if there is a partner involved, if there is a business partner involved. We didn't figure that out, okay? We got the need, in which why do they actually want to do this, and we got the timeline, why now? So those last two are ticked off, but those first two are probably more important, and they can easily butcher your sale, okay? So that's why I'm going to give it a 6.8 out of 10. But other than that, pretty solid discovery. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you want me to do more of these. It's pretty fun. I enjoy doing these. And yeah, peace and God bless.